Well, Bart is the man who reported the mystery of the missing woman in the houseboat. He lived in a nearby houseboat on the river there, and he hadn't seen this woman for 3 days. So he called the police and he reported that the cat had been locked out of the house, and she loved her cat. And so the Grijpstra and Gier went to investigate. Hi, this is Mrs. Murder. The book is Tumbleweed. It's a book written by Janwillem van de Wetering, a Dutch author, and his mysteries are Grijpstra and de Gier mystery. G in Dutch is pronounced an H, I learned. So it's Grijpstra and de Gier. But anyway, they went to investigate the murder of this woman who lived on a houseboat. And Maria, her name, her name is Maria van Buren. And no one answered the door. Her cat had been locked up for 3 days, and so they had to get a warrant to enter the house. They entered the house and found that she was indeed deceased. Someone had thrown a knife into her back, and they thought it looked like a military knife. We have a number of suspects that we go through, as always in Van Wetterling's mysteries. You had the neighbor who reported it. You had this woman was beautiful and very mysterious, but she was evidently someone who charged men for services, and so there were a number of suspects. They'd been asked by the Secret Service to keep an eye on her because she was very well associated with one high-ranking official, and they wanted to make sure that she wasn't trying to get information out of him. We go through the cars. There is a red car, there's a Buick, there's a Citroen that's parked out there by her houseboat, and we have to investigate the cars, and we try to find out who the people are, and we find out a man used to go walk every Sunday, come by with his son who carried a ball under his arm. He's about 5 years old. The man had on a red waistcoat, so we have to find out who he is. We go through her apartment and find out she had a lot of weeds growing in her houseboat, and belladonna, nightshade, and thornapple, all poisonous. So we're wondering if they're used by sorcerers and botanists. So we're wondering, was she a sorceress? Was she a botanist? And then we have to discover who this mystery woman was, who was killed by being a knife thrown into her back. The knife looked like it was military, so they started following up on any military suspects that she might have been affiliated with. They travel to Curacao, and this is an island in the Mediterranean. Well, this island, it takes us all over the place, and it's ridiculous, all over the place. But I wanted to make one, since these are just short reviews. I just want to get you interested in them, in the mystery of it. Who could have thrown the knife in her back, killed her like that, and left her there when she was such a beautiful, beautiful woman? The name of the book is Tumbleweed. And after I read the book, I wasn't going to report on it because it's so very detailed, and I wasn't sure how to navigate all of the complexities of this mystery, but it's fascinating. I know I use that description too frequently, but I thought, well, I'll just explain Tumbleweed. And the interesting thing is that I had to go back through page by page the entire book. I remembered when I ran across tumbleweed, why is this called tumbleweed? When I ran across that phrase, I thought, wow, a lot of this book has passed before we ever even hear about a tumbleweed. And I went through page by page, kind of skimming over it again. It's a fascinating mystery. I could read it again. But until I finally ran into the tumbleweed. Never mind, I'll tell you about tumbleweeds. When the plants die here, at the end of the year, some of them break off. First they dry out, become brittle, and one day the wind grabs them and they break their stems and begin to tumble all about the island. This is on the island of Curacao. So it's an amazing sight. The weeds seem so busy and so energetic, and they go everywhere, and when the wind changes, they come back again. They bounce across roads, they get stuck in our fences. They even get into the gardens. The dunes are alive with them, but eventually they reach the beaches and then they drown. Drown in the sea, but they're dead already, of course. They died long before they broke off and lost their souls. And we are using this to say that the person who tumbleweeds, very interesting. We've heard about tumbleweeds before, our detectives say. And he says that the murderer is like a tumbleweed. He has a high energy when he's being blown around with all kinds of ideas, exploding all over the place, and then he burns out. It's a mystery.
I'm sorry.